Hi everybody, Ahmad here from Landtrust Title, Central Florida. Let's talk title. Today I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about various types of deeds that allow transfer of ownership of a property. So there are a variety of ways that ownership can change, whether that's within the context of a transaction or whether the owner of a property is just trying to restructure the way that the property is owned or change it into a legal entity that's owned by them. So the first type of deed is the Statutory Warranty Deed. This is a traditional catch-all standard way of conveying property from a seller to a buyer in an arm's length transaction. So the Statutory Warranty Deed ultimately warrants that the seller of the property is able to sell the property to the buyer, and the buyer is ultimately able to receive the title of the property free and clear of any defects, not only from that particular seller, but just in general for, going back in time forever, ultimately. And so that's the strongest type of way to receive ownership of a property, and the traditional way in which the transaction closes and the traditional way in which title policy is issued at the time of closing. In addition to that, you're going to see deeds that are called special warranty deeds. Special warranty deeds are deeds that are conveyed usually by developers, builders, by entities that are properties that are owned by entities. And ultimately what those entities and builders are trying to do with a special warranty deed is to say that they are warranting title of the property, not going back in time forever, but only from the time that that entity came into ownership of the property moving forward. Ultimately, they are saying that they are ultimately conveying clear title over to the buyer, but they're not really guaranteeing anything that might have happened before they came into ownership of the property. And then the last type of deed that we're going to see is a quitclaim deed. Quitclaim deeds are not traditionally used to convey property from one person to another within the context of a real estate transaction. Usually a quitclaim deed is used to either add someone to title, remove someone from title, or restructure the ownership of the property, whether it's moving the property into an LLC or into a trust or corporation for any particular reason. So quitclaim deed ultimately says you were conveying the title to the property, but we're not warranting or guaranteeing anything. There's no title search that's done traditionally with a quitclaim deed, and there's not really any warranties that are associated with the quitclaim deed as well. It's really just used primarily to restructure the ownership of the property. And if it's being used in the context of a real estate transaction, that's something to be very cautious about, because there's an inconsistency between conveying a property and conveying it without really warranting that the seller has any liability associated with the actual title of the property. So that's not the traditional way that a transaction is going to close within the context of a quitclaim deed. So if you guys have received a deed, or you guys have a question about the way a deed is structured on any of the transactions that you're working on, feel free to reach out to us here at Landtrust Title of Central Florida. We'd be more than happy to assist. Looking forward to working with you.